Welcome, dear listeners, to the Speak and Flow podcast, where we dive into strategies to help you and your team unleash the power of their voice, achieve maximum potential and flow. Today, we have an astrophysicist, Dr. Hasmik Andreasyan. She's a researcher, astrophysicist, and also a project manager in IT. Welcome, Hasmik.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the presentation.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad you're here. You're our first astrophysicist on the podcast. I'm so excited to dive in. I want to know what makes you passionate about this field. It's fascinating. And so from your perspective, what are you getting at? What are you finding?
It's a astrophysics. It's astronomy, so it can be just simply it can be not interesting, and I could not be not passionate about that. Actually, I never met someone who is like who's not interested in the stars, in the night sky, etc. So at some level, yeah.
What projects are you doing? What projects are you researching?
My topic is eruptive stars. Yeah, and actually, like my story is a little bit different because I grew up actually in observatory. So it was kind of a natural environment for me.
Oh, is this in Armenia?
It's back in
Okay.
Armenia.
Got it. And yeah, and you just recently moved here to California about 6 months
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Welcome. So you're in Armenia and you're in the observatory. That's your natural environment.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's my like the place that I grew up.
yeah.
My friends, my parents, etc. So, um,
Wow.
I just at some point I decided that it should be not only my passion for childhood, but it also can be my profession, and
Mhm.
I can do my career in this field because it
Mhm.
really was very interesting for me.
Mhm.
And also, as I already know what I should expect from this career path, uh,
Yeah.
because I was in this environment, I decided that I should try myself, and I'm very happy that in my university years I chose like the astrophysics for
And
me.
tell me about that project that you're talking about or your focus in the stars. What part of that?
Yeah. For my PhD thesis, I was thinking like for a very long period, what topic should I take for me for the PhD? I don't want it just be like continuation of our works, but
Mhm.
I wanted to have some connection with this topic. And at some point, when we were doing our observations in the observatory using our 2.6-meter telescope,
Mhm.
it's one of the biggest observatories in the like telescopes in the area.
Mhm.
And we were doing observations, and just randomly we found like one star
Mhm.
was undergone the eruption. Like
Mhm.
it brightens for 5 magnitudes. It means like almost 100 times
Mhm.
just in front of our eyes.
Wow.
Was very excited. Before that, I didn't work on this field of eruptive variable stars.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
it was new. And when
Uh-huh.
I did this observation, I remember that was September of 2015. And we came back to the office. We
Mhm.
redacted quickly. And as we find out that it really brightened up, I
Yeah.
said, well, I am going to take this star as a as a base of my thesis. And we started to do like observations of, like every month, every 2 months, etc. And we started to follow the star
Uh-huh.
behavior. And at the end, we found that this is a like very rare phenomena. It's called Fluorioni type stars, and our star is evolved, and now it's called like Fluorioni type star. And this is the type of the stars that we know very few of them, like 15 to 20. But like there are thousands and millions, trillions stars, and only few of them we can call Fluorioni type stars. And one of them was just in front of my eyes, and I was in the team who like discovered this. And now this work already, of course, it's published, and our colleagues also in America and worldwide, they are also studying this object, and they also confirming that our discovery was right, because this type of stars, they need to be followed for a long period of time, and we followed them almost 5-6 years to have this result, to have this final result. And this is the tough part of the research, when you should work for a long period in order to have a good result, which you can show and tell the world.
Right. And so what was the effective, like a lot of communication, appropriate, accurate communication was happening at that time? Can you tell me more about if communication helped supported you in getting a good result?
Yeah, actually, a lot of people thinks that in research, in science, you are usually working like for yourself and alone, but it's not like this. So it's truly collaborative work, especially astrophysics. So in realm of astrophysics, communication is very crucial, as in all fields, because this can lead, like, if we do not have this communication and the effectiveness of our meetings, we could have a lot of misunderstandings and errors. And at the end, this could lead, like in the process of discovery, this could lead a lot of problems. And in astrophysics, it's all about time. And if you not discover something on time, someone else could do that. And at the end, it's going to be not your study, but it will be published on someone else's names.
Yes. So what communication methods do you use to ensure that you had good, effective?
For example, in my team, as we worked in the same observatory, we had daily meetings. That was our like everyday schedule. So in the mornings, we always had like 15 minutes meetings with all our team members. We were 4 people, and everyone just very quickly shared what's the, like, progress they had during the day, and what they are going to do after. And due to this, we were managed to like do our studies more quicker and be effective.
Yes. And what about presenting?
It's very important thing for science, because with your presentation you can make more valuable. You can just destroy like very good study or discovery just because you presented it wrong.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So you're able to present it. Do you think that you did an effective job presenting? It sounded like it.
I think I am still continue to study this field, because it's continuous like process. I remember when I was in university, I had this problem of presentations, because I did a good job, but at the end, no one understand and no one could value your presentation if you are not talking properly, not
Mhm.
showing your work properly.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, very good tools is to use a lot of graphs and a lot of shapes in this case, because these help like from visual perspective to show people and to make them more easy to understand your work.
Right, 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 right. So using visuals, using different ways
Yeah,
to make sure that they're getting the accurate information, especially in this field. You want it to be accurate, timely. You don't want to rush through it, like you said, but also there's a sense of urgency so that somebody else doesn't publish the
yeah.
data.
But you have to be sure for your data also.
Uh-huh, right,
So, as you said, you have to like
right.
care of the data, and this is also part of the communication, because you should be able to talk with your team members and show them, present them real your like what you done,
Mhm,
what your results. They should understand really what you are talking about.
mhm,
You
mhm.
should be on the same page. That's very important.
Yeah, how do you know when people are on the same page with you?
I always ask a feedback.
Mhm.
And due to this, I understand if what I said
Right,
is finally like person understands the meaning
right,
of that,
right.
or maybe they went to another direction. That was very one of my problems in the past, because I always thought that what I talk,
Uh-huh.
what I understand, or what I already imagined, everyone else in the room also understand quickly, and they are on the same page. But
Mhm.
that's not like this, and you should be sure that you are in the same page and you are in the same situation, and everyone understands like your main goal and
Mhm.
where you are going.
Right, right,
Also
right.
work that should be done in order to have good results.
Yeah, as a leader of a project or leader of research or leader of in any field, like you mentioned, make sure you understand where people are going, make sure you're getting understand that they are getting feedback from them so
Yeah,
that they understand what you're saying. We can't assume that just because we're saying something that they're getting it exactly what we imagine is what you're saying. So really being sure to do
we are
that.
different. We are different. We have different
Correct.
feelings.
Yeah,
The person in front of you do not have to like understand you. Just
exactly.
you should,
Exactly.
you should really talk. You
Yeah, so it sounds like it was a successful. So you said that the result is successful. For
Yeah, that
yeah.
that was successful, and that actually became became one of the main like stones for beginning of my PhD thesis. Of
Mhm.
course, it's a long story and it's a long time that you should work on it, etc. PhD is for 4 or 5 years usually people are doing. But it was the main point
Mhm.
that we started to work, and
Mhm.
the team also were helped me a lot. So it's a PhD degree, but it's not only about yourself. So
Mhm.
it's very important.
Mhm.
Our case, like it's a supervisor, it's team members, and all are working on the same project, understanding that you have the same vision
Right.
and goals.
Right. Oh, congratulations. So I also wonder, you talked about the positive impacts of effective communication on this team, bringing everybody along. It's not just about you, ensuring that all the accurate information is presented and also knowing that everybody's listening correctly. What about any ineffective communication moments that you've had? Can you share with us those times where you felt like the team had ineffective communication, and what is the impact? And it doesn't have to be about this project, but in your career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I said, I am working now on two fields.
Uh-huh.
In project management, where you talk, and in your environment you can have very different people, because it's not only scientific environment,
Yeah.
but in difference with, for example, astrophysics, where people have the same, let's say, values, because they all are scientists.
Mm-hmm.
You have developers that they have their own world.
Mm-hmm.
Have like QAs that they are working on their topic. So their people are very diverse.
Right.
You really should be able to connect all of them.
Yes.
And this is very problematic, can be sometimes. There were times that, for example, we had timelines, and at the end we couldn't follow them, because maybe people were not coming for the meetings, and they didn't really realize that it's very important. So you should go and you should explain that team meetings are very important. Then we started to implement also this clear documentations, because this is also very helpful. And this is also a point, because people could forget sometimes what you were talking during the meetings.
Right.
This calls also time. So in my career, we met a lot of problems with timelines usually.
Because people are not sure what are the priorities.
Yeah, because people are not sure of the priorities. They didn't realize like their responsibilities. So this is also work that you should done, and you should, like, everyone in the team should clearly understand what are their responsibilities, what are their goals, and that everything that you are working on is not only your project, it's a whole team project.
Right.
Everyone is very important and valued.
Right. Or is there a project that you're working on in terms of as a project manager that you're excited about?
Yeah. I was lucky to find another position as a project manager after my PhD in IT sphere. And the project was again connected with astronomy. So it also was a very excitement, like reason for excitement for me. But there were not only astronomers in the group. There were, of course, developers, another team members,
Right.
project, members, etc. And then we had also this international team,
Wow.
because the project were international, and we had, of course, we have to use this communication tools like Zoom and all the other platforms. And this has also changed the rules of communication, because one thing is when you are all in the same room, and the other thing when you are in different countries, and
Yes.
this is also not very easy.
What are your suggestions for communicating in Zoom to different countries, international?
Yeah, we have to be very really careful and very strict concerning the communication when you are working from different countries. It could be via Zoom or other tools,
How do you prepare?
Yeah, this should be very clear that everyone should have like their notes. They should clearly be prepared for this meeting. We usually had once a week meeting for 1 hour. And we try to be in this limit of 1 hour, because when you are out of time, or you can make some excuses, it's not very productive, because people are really do not take sometimes it serious. So we were using, of course, tools like Zoom, Microsoft Team, Slack, all these kind of tools that is possible to use. Also for project management, there are like specifically softwares like Jira, etc. That I think every sphere has its own. So you should really keep going these meetings. You should have your meeting minutes archived in somewhere, so everyone can just open and take a quick look if they forgot something. Everyone should be present at the team meetings, everyone, without excuses, if it's not like very, very urgent. So once a week, at least we were doing, because our team was, it's mainly based on the project. You should understand like how quick you need to set up these meetings. And then we have like every 2-3 days, one-on-one meetings with the other members. This also helps if we have like difficulties, or we have questions and it concerns just one person.
Right. Do you have you ever experienced, like, if you say one word, it may mean something else in another culture? Like, how do you prepare for that? Or maybe even gestures, like some cultures like eye contact, some others don't like eye contact. How do you prepare for all those type of
Yeah,
communication?
that's a very good question, and that's a thing that you should maybe study a little bit in order to get prepared for meeting with the person, because really cultures are different, and you appreciate that and be prepared. I can tell you one story. One of my colleagues were from Bulgaria, and there, like when you say yes, it's not like this, it's like this. So
Oh, interesting.
and no, it's like this. So for a long time, I didn't realize that. And when I was talking something and they were doing like this, what I'm talking, maybe I'm not correct, or maybe we are not understand each other. And then I understand that you should study the culture in order to be able to communicate really.
Right. I can see how that is so confusing. I
Yeah.
don't even know how to adjust that because I'm so used to saying yes. Yes. Shaking my head, no, back side to side is yes.
Yeah,
Oh, that's really interesting. That's good to know from Bulgaria.
definitely.
Yeah, so like I agree with you. Really taking the time to study where someone is from, what their culture is, what is appropriate gestures and what is not. Like we can't assume that what our gestures are, they're going to be the same for them. So
And people usually think that it's only like words, but
words, no.
communication is also hands, it's face,
Yeah,
it's eyebrows, so everything. The gestures are very important.
it's very important. It's very important. In fact, I'm actually doing a podcast episode on this too, so really appreciate that you're bringing it up. Yes. Oh, thank you so much, Hasmik. It was really powerful. I really appreciate, thank you for your research and sharing your experience in doing that, and also talking about how the team, effective communication has helped you bring out the research that you want, the data that you want in an accurate, factual, informational way to support our society. And so really, I'm happy that you're here in California, and also jumped on this podcast to talk about the differences between effective communication and not. So Thank you so much. Before we jump off and dive off, I'd like to ask, like all the guests that I ask, what is your one leadership golden takeaway that you want the audience to remember?
Keeping up with our topic, I would really want to mention that effective communication, like effective negotiation, it's a win-win process.
Mhm.
So like two parts of it should, at the end of this communication, should win.
Yeah,
They should have that, they should share the profit of the communication.
yeah,
And two parts should understand that and be more, let's say, active listeners and helpful, and lead this project to their like end in time and with the good results. So win-win is always a good.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Especially nowadays with our election coming up. It sounds like there's a lot of people with different opinions. And so I really hope that even after the election, we can all come together as one country, one voice to solve our complex problems in the world, and going like what Hasmik is saying, that we all look at our problems with a win-win attitude and active listening, and boost our creativity to move in the right positive direction.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. And dear listeners, I really appreciate. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, I'm your sister in flow. May prosperity flow to you, through you, for a better future. Thanks for joining the conversation today. Are you curious on how you measure up with your ability to speak in flow? Come grab my free self-assessment at https://speakinflow.com/assessment. And I'll see you on the other side.